Welcome Keldasvanga fans. If you missed an episode, or just love reliving the drama, you've come to the right place. We're diving deep into the unfolding events of March 2025, bringing you detailed, immersive narratives that make you feel like you never skipped a beat. Stay with us until the end, and don't forget to support the channel by joining the membership, using super thanks, and letting those ads play fully. It helps us keep bringing you the best content. The morning of Monday 3rd March 2025 dawned heavy with tension in Sobatsk as episode 216 unfolded. Debbie Lee, a woman known for her unshakable principles, found herself backed into a corner where compromise was the only way forward. She could feel the weight of her choices pressing down on her, especially when she glanced at Andrew, whose fragile health sent ripples of unease through her heart. Meanwhile, Atandwa and Marco's interactions took on an unspoken intensity, their bond deepening in ways neither of them had planned. But Annette was perhaps the most unsettled of all. As she watched Edmund navigate the intricacies of their complicated relationship, a question gnawed at her. Had she finally found the partner she had always needed, or was she once again chasing an illusion? By Tuesday 4th March 2025, episode 217 crackled with confrontation. Philip had had enough of Elroy's deceit and sought him out, his words sharp as blades cutting through the half-truths and manipulations. Meanwhile, Sandy, feeling unmoored, turned to Devald for guidance, hoping he could help her make sense of the chaos in her life. Edmund and Annette, despite their internal struggles, began to settle into a rhythm of parenting, a fragile but undeniable bond forming between them. But while some relationships found balance, others teetered on the edge. Shireen watched her once thriving practice wither, the emptiness of her waiting room a testament to her growing troubles. And Unati, ever wary, viewed Marco's generosity with suspicion, unwilling to believe that it came without strings. Wednesday, 5th March 2025, episode 218 remained a mystery, the silence surrounding it only amplifying the sense of unease. But those attuned to the undercurrents of Sobatsk knew that something was about to break. By Thursday, 6th March 2025, episode 219 ignited the flames of action. The sisters had never been ones to stand idly by, and with Debbie Lee in distress, they set their sights on a daring rescue. Meanwhile, Elroy, ever the strategist, was preparing his own countermeasures, determined to stay ahead of his enemies. Annette, weary of Edmund's evasions, took matters into her own hands, confronting him head-on in a battle of wills. And as Atandwa tried to find her footing in an evolving dynamic with Marco, Jason's unexpected return sent shockwaves through her world, threatening to upend everything she had begun to build. Friday, 7th March 2025, episode 220. Philip's determination led him straight to Elroy's house, where he finally made contact with Debbie Lee. The encounter was fraught with danger, the air thick with the possibility of disaster. Meanwhile, Atandwa's growing discomfort with Jason's reappearance reached a boiling point, her insecurities threatening to unravel her fragile happiness. And for Edmund, a single moment was enough to send him spiraling. Watching another man flirt with Shireen ignited a rage he couldn't contain, the depth of his feelings exposing vulnerabilities he had long tried to ignore. The following week, Monday 10th March 2025, episode 221, saw the sisters redoubling their efforts to free Debbie Lee, even as Elroy quietly laid the groundwork for his next move. Meanwhile, Veronique, never one to let a brewing storm go to waste, fanned the flames of Annette's anger toward Edmund, sowing discord with a well-placed word. Marco, oblivious to the chaos surrounding him, encountered a mysterious stranger named Austin, a meeting that would change the course of his life in ways he couldn't yet foresee. By Tuesday, 11th March 2025, episode 222, Allison's maternal instincts sharpened as she watched Junior's behavior shift in unsettling ways. Concern gripped her heart, the fear of what she might uncover a constant shadow in her mind. Wednesday, 12th March 2025, episode 223, brought an unexpected moment of solace. In the safety of Chioppi's embrace, Debbie Lee allowed herself to break the weight of her ordeal, too much to bear alone. Annette, having wrestled with doubt for too long, finally made a decision about Edmund's custody rights, one that would send ripples through their already fraught relationship. Marco, still reeling from Jason's return, began to see things in a new light, his perspective shifting in ways that unsettled him. Meanwhile, Allison's unease deepened as Junior's condition showed no signs of improvement. By Thursday, 13th March 2025, episode 224, Andrew's quiet strength shone through as he stood by Debbie Lee, his unwavering loyalty a beacon in her darkened world. But her suffering remained silent yet palpable. Marco, stepping into his own, faced an unexpected hurdle, still Piete's discomfort with his presence in the house. And for Allison, a creeping realization took hold: something was seriously wrong with Junior. Friday, 14th March 2025, episode 225, unfolded, with Allison's fears deepening, her concern for Junior now impossible to ignore. She had spent the past few days noticing subtle changes: his exhaustion, his avoidance of certain topics, the way he winced when he thought no one was looking. The weight of her suspicions finally became unbearable, forcing her to confide in him. But Junior, ever protective of his own independence, dismissed her concerns with a forced smile, his reassurance doing little to ease her growing dread. Annette, on the other hand, made a decision so shocking that even Hermione, known for her calculated composure, was left speechless. It was a choice that would send ripples through Sobatskloof, a revelation that no one saw coming. Meanwhile, Philip eagerly anticipated the arrival of Bernadette, his excitement almost boyish as he prepared for her visit. But what should have been a simple reunion was about to complicate matters in ways he hadn't foreseen. Still Piet, still struggling to accept Marco's presence, found his patience thinning. His resistance was no longer subtle. It was a storm brewing, an inevitability waiting to unfold. Monday, 17th March 2025, episode 226, saw Nena and Joey's long-standing tension reach a breaking point as they clashed over an unresolved issue, the unspoken truths between them finally demanding to be acknowledged. Meanwhile, Philip's enthusiasm about Bernadette's visit grew oblivious to the emotional whirlwind her arrival would bring. Still Piet, already grappling with unresolved demons from his past, found himself haunted by a ghost. Whether metaphorical or literal, it was enough to rattle him. And in a moment of vulnerability, Allison finally voiced her fears to Junior, laying bare the depth of her concern. Whether he would truly listen remained to be seen. Tuesday, 18th March 2025. Episode 227 saw Still Piet attempting to bridge the growing chasm between himself, Unati, and Antandwa by organizing a braai. The gathering was meant to be a moment of reconciliation, an opportunity to mend what was fraying at the seams. But patience, as he would soon learn, is not easily granted. Elsewhere, Junior extracted a solemn promise from Allison, one that required her to respect his wishes even if they conflicted with her instincts. The request put her in an impossible position, torn between love and loyalty. Meanwhile, the undeniable spark between Joey and Bernadette ignited something much darker in Nena. Her jealousy, a force of nature in its own right, flared in a tirade that left no doubt she would not stand idly by while another woman encroached on what she considered hers. Wednesday, 19th March 2025, episode 228 unraveled the moment of truth for Junior as he finally received the results of his cancer and tumor tests. The weight of the envelope in his hands felt heavier than anything he had ever held. The knowledge within it had the power to change everything. Marco, too, faced an impossible dilemma, caught between loyalty to his brother and his own morals, when CJ approached him for a favor. It was a request that blurred the lines between right and wrong, forcing Marco to confront where his true allegiance lay. Meanwhile, Nena's discontent over Joey and Bernadette's flirtations simmered dangerously close to the surface, an emotional storm ready to break. Thursday, 20th March 2025, episode 229, found Junior grappling with a growing anger toward Allison. Her concern, which he had once found endearing, now felt suffocating. He was tired of being seen as fragile, of being treated as though his illness defined him. Marco, frayed at the edges, struggled to keep himself together as CJ's favor became more of a burden than he'd anticipated. The pressure was relentless, and his nerves were beginning to unravel. Meanwhile, Bernadette and Joey drew closer, their bond deepening in ways that only served to fuel Nena's jealousy further. She had never been one to lose without a fight, and this was no exception. Friday, 21st March 2025, episode 230 saw Marco's troubles mounting to an unbearable degree. What had begun as a simple favor had spiraled out of control, dragging him into a web of complications he had no way of untangling. Junior, no longer able to suppress his emotions, confronted Allison with a truth so harsh that even she couldn't deny it. The moment left her shaken, forcing her to reevaluate everything she thought she knew. And as Nena and Joey danced around their own secret, the risk of exposure loomed ever closer. Some secrets, after all, refused to stay hidden for long. Monday, 24th March 2025, episode 231, unfolded with a tension that had long been simmering beneath the surface. Joey, after months of inner turmoil, could no longer deny the truth buried in his heart. As he stood beneath the vast Sobatskloof sky, he finally admitted his true feelings. Words that had been left unspoken for too long now, hanging between him and the person he had longed for. Meanwhile, Marco's pulse quickened with fear. Every step he took, every whispered conversation in the shadows threatened to expose him. His smuggling operation had been running smoothly, but a misstep, a single error, and everything could come crumbling down. The walls were closing in, and for the first time he questioned whether the risk was truly worth it. Elsewhere, Elroy found himself trapped between guilt and relief as he finally unburdened his soul to Veronique. His confession was met with an unreadable expression, but the weight of his secret was no longer his alone to bear. And then there was Allison, her silence stretching further than ever. Those closest to her could sense the storm brewing, the unspoken truth threatening to break free. Would she finally reveal what had been haunting her? Or would she retreat further into herself, letting the darkness swallow her whole? Tuesday, 25th March 2025, episode 232 brought devastation that sent ripples through Sobatskloof. Edmund and Junior sat in stunned silence, the weight of Allison's revelation pressing down on them with a force neither was prepared for. The news was more than devastating, it changed everything. As they struggled to make sense of what had just unfolded, Veronique found herself once again forced to clean up a mess that was not her own. Her sons had overstepped, and now it fell upon her to ensure the damage was contained. Meanwhile, CJ's heart shattered as he watched Marco pull away. The rejection, though expected, stung deeper than he had anticipated. Marco, caught in the crossfire of his own mistakes and emotions, could barely look CJ in the eye. And as the day turned to night, Joey and Nena stood at a precipice, hesitant but unable to ignore the shift between them. Change was inevitable, but were they ready for what came next? Wednesday, 26th March 2025, episode 233, painted Sobatskloof in hues of romance and longing. Love was in the air, but not all hearts were beating in unison. The Murray family found themselves struggling in the absence of CJ. His departure had left a void, and no one quite knew how to fill it. Meanwhile, Junior took a stand, pushing aside his own fears to support Allison in the only way he knew how. He could see it now, her strength was waning, and if he didn't step in, she would collapse under the weight of it all. But the peace of Sobatskloof was soon disturbed by an unknown presence. A stranger had made the land his camping ground, an enigma whose intentions remained unclear. Whispers carried through the vineyards. Who was he, and what did he want? Thursday, 27th March 2025, episode 234, remained shrouded in mystery. But what was clear was that the calm of Sobatskloof was merely the eye of the storm. Friday, 28th March 2025, episode 235, saw Joey and Nenna casting away doubt and embracing the undeniable pull between them. Their relationship had always been a dance between what was and what could be, but now they were ready to take the next step. Meanwhile, Reek's heart pounded with anticipation. He had waited too long, and now he was ready to declare his love for Hermione. But fate was cruel, and Jan had moved faster, possibly stripping Reik of his chance before he even had the opportunity to speak his heart. Elsewhere, Edmund felt his breath catch as realization set in. Alison's memory loss was far worse than they had thought. The pieces weren't coming together, and no matter how desperately he tried to guide her back, the past remained just out of reach. And that's just the beginning of the drama unfolding this March in Kelders Vangerheime. If you don't want to miss a moment, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have notifications turned on. Want to support us? Join the membership or hit that super thanks button. And remember, letting ads run fully or for at least 30 seconds helps keep this channel alive. Stay tuned for more episodes, and we'll see you in the next video.